A very good morning to all my dear students. Students, today we are going to start our new chapter, that is Iron Age. In the previous lecture, we have completed our second chapter, the Four Stone Ages. Students, do you know, for the better study of these ages, historians divided it in three great ages of prehistoric time: Stone Age, Bronze Age, and Iron Age. Students, see this picture carefully. Prehistoric times. There is a larger period of time for which we have no written records and we call this prehistory. Understood? हमारे पास कोई भी रिटर्न रिकॉर्ड नहीं है, इसलिए हम इस टाइम पीरियड को प्री हिस्ट्री कहते हैं. स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम एविडेंस ऑफ द फर्स्ट अर्ली ह्यूमंस. In the first picture, we can see that the Stone Age, then the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. Period of Iron Age is different in Europe, in India. In India, it started in 12th century BC. In archaeology, the Iron Age was the stage in the development of any civilization in which tools and weapons whose main ingredient was iron were prominent. There is no recorded history of this time that we can read. Okay, so the Iron Age in Britain lasted for around 800 years. According to historians, the Iron Age is the last principal period in the three-age system for classifying prehistoric society by the Bronze Age. Iron was used to make tools and weapons. Iron is tougher than bronze and was used to make sharper objects like spears and swords, which were decorated. And we know this as they have been found in graves and box. They also made tools for farming like plugs. Students, do you know the Iron Age started in different dates everywhere since it spread slowly. It helped in many ways: culturally, politically, socially, and economically. The Iron Age involved the adoption of iron smelting technology. It generally replaced bronze and made it possible to produce tools which were stronger and cheaper to make than bronze equivalents. Iron Age also developed coin system. Iron Age marks the period of development of technology, when the working of iron came into general use, replacing bronze as the basic material for implements and weapons. It is the last stage of the archaeological sequence known as the three-age system. Bronze versus iron. Bronze could be melted and powered into molds, whereas iron could not because the process made it too brittle to use as weapons or tools. Iron had to be heated slowly and hammered into shape, then sunk into cold water to prevent it weakening. This process originated in Asia Minor around 1400 BC and was brought to Scotland. Students, do you know how was iron developed? By the Middle Bronze Age, increasing numbers of iron objects appeared at various places. In some places, their use appears to have been ceremonial. ऐसी कुछ जगह थी जहाँ पर उनका यूज बहुत ही कम नजर आता था. ऐसा क्यों? Because during the Bronze Age, iron was an expensive metal. Iron जो था वो बहुत ज़्यादा expensive था, more expensive than gold. Some sources suggest that iron was being created in some places, then as a byproduct of copper refining and was not reproducible by the metallurgy. Bronze was previously used to make tools because its melting point is lower than that of iron. The Iron Age began with the development of higher temperature smelting techniques. During the Iron Age, the best tools and weapons were made from steel and alloy. What is mean by alloy? It means the mixing of two or three metals. Got it? Consisting of iron with a carbon content. Steel weapons and tools were nearly the same weight as those of bronze, but stronger. However, steel was difficult to produce with the methods available. Therefore, many Iron Age tools were designed of wrought iron. Wrought iron is weaker than bronze, but because it was less expensive and more easily sharpened, people use it anyway. Iron is by itself an adequately strong metal without additional alloy. Iron Age innovations. Iron Age people developed some very useful tools to help them in their daily work, like rotary quern. The rotary quern was used to grind grain into flour. It was made from two flat stones, one on top of the other. Grain was poured into a hole in the upper stone. The tap stone was then turned by a handle. Because of the lower stone didn't move, so the grain was crushed between the two stones. Iron making tools. The Iron Age blacksmiths made strong swords by heating a bar of iron over charcoal fire. When the iron was white hot, the smith rested the bar on an anvil and then he hammered it into shape before it cooled. Then the next invention is potter's wheel. People started using potter's wheel. At the end of the Iron Age, they used their feet to turn the wheel. As it turned, the potters used both hands to shape the clay. And the use of wheel meant that people could make pots in many shapes and sizes. Iron tipped plug. The Iron Age plugs are sometimes known as urds. They were made from wood, but they had an iron tip on the end of the plug to help it cut through heavy soil. The plug was guided by the farmer and pulled by oxen. Farmers no longer needed to use antlers and stone tools to dig up their land. Then the next one is loom. Weavers hung long threads from a tall loom made from wood. These vertical threads were weighted down with stones. Then the weavers used a wooden tool called a shuttle to pass different threads between the vertical threads.